Good evening, everyone. Today I want to share a perspective that might change the way you view challenges, conflicts, and even those you perceive as enemies. When faced with opposition, our instinct often urges us to fight, to prove ourselves, to engage in a battle of wills. But what if I told you there's a different path, a more powerful way to overcome? One that doesn't rely on confrontation, but on transformation. That's the path we'll explore together. We often misunderstand the true nature of conflict. Many times, what we perceive as an enemy is merely a reflection of fear, insecurity, or misunderstanding. When someone opposes you, it's not always about you. It's about their own struggles, their own limitations. And if we step back, we see that battles are rarely won in the heat of the fight. They are won in the quiet moments of preparation, in the choices we make, and in the way we conduct ourselves. To defeat an enemy without fighting, we must first redefine what victory means. Is it about crushing the other person, proving them wrong, or rising above the situation? Real victory isn't about domination, it's about elevation. When you rise above the noise, the anger, and the pettiness, you take away the power of your opponent. You stand in a place of strength that no attack can reach. That's true power, not the ability to conquer, but the ability to remain unconquerable. The first step on this path is understanding. Seek to understand your opponent, not to justify their actions, but to uncover the root of their behavior. Why do they act the way they do? What pain, fear, or need drives them? Understanding doesn't mean you agree or condone, it means you see the humanity in them. And when you do, something remarkable happens. You strip away their power to hurt you because you no longer react from a place of anger or fear. Instead, you act from a place of clarity. The second step is to focus on your own growth. So often we become consumed by what others are doing, how they're wronging us, or how they're standing in our way. But here's the truth: the more you focus on them, the more power you give them over you. Shift your focus inward. How can you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient? How can you use this challenge to become a better version of yourself? When you channel your energy into growth, you outgrow the conflict. You rise above it, and in doing so, you leave your enemies behind, not because you've defeated them, but because they can no longer reach you. Another crucial step is to lead by example. Be the kind of person who inspires others, even your so-called enemies. Show integrity, kindness, and strength in the face of opposition. When you respond to hostility with grace, you disarm your opponent. They expect to fight, but you give them something far more powerful: peace. It's not weakness to refuse to fight, it's the greatest strength. It takes courage to stay calm when others are trying to provoke you, to choose diplomacy over aggression, and to walk away when the situation demands it. There's a story about a great general who was known for his ability to win battles without ever drawing his sword. One day, a young warrior challenged him, mocking him in front of his troops. The general didn't respond with anger. Instead, he stood silently and looked at the young warrior with a calm, steady gaze. The warrior grew more and more frustrated, shouting insults and trying to provoke the general. But no matter what he said, the general remained unmoved. Finally, the young warrior gave up and left in defeat, not because he was overpowered, but because he was overawed. The general didn't fight, yet he won. He won because he refused to let the warrior's actions dictate his response. He chose his own path. This is the kind of power I'm talking about: the power to choose your response, the power to stay true to your values, and the power to rise above the fray. When you do this, you don't just defeat your enemies, you transform the entire dynamic. You take the energy of conflict and turn it into something constructive. You build bridges instead of walls, and in doing so, you create opportunities for understanding and growth. Another way to defeat your enemies without fighting is to practice gratitude. This might sound counterintuitive. Why would you be grateful for someone who opposes you? But think about it. Every challenge, every conflict, and every adversary teaches you something valuable. They force you to grow, to adapt, and to become stronger. So thank your enemies not to their face, but in your heart. Thank them for the lessons they're teaching you, even if those lessons are painful. When you approach conflict with gratitude, you shift the power dynamic. You're no longer a victim, you're a student, learning and growing from every experience. Remember this, not all battles are yours to fight. Sometimes the best way to win is to walk away. It's not giving up, it's choosing peace over chaos. There's wisdom in knowing when to stand your ground and when to let go. When you walk away from a toxic situation, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters. You reclaim your energy, your time, and your peace of mind. And in doing so, you win not just the battle, but the war. Victory is a concept deeply ingrained in our minds as a triumph over others, a decisive moment where one emerges as the clear winner. But what if we redefine victory? What if we saw it not as defeating someone else, but as achieving a higher state of being? A personal growth that transcends the conflict itself. True victory is not about conquering others, but about mastering oneself, rising above challenges, and achieving lasting peace. Traditional notions of victory often center around power and dominance. They suggest that to win, someone else must lose. But this zero-sum approach limits our perspective and traps us in a cycle of endless confrontation. Even when we win by these standards, the victory often feels hollow. Why? Because it's rooted in external validation, in the fleeting satisfaction of proving someone else wrong or gaining the upper hand. True victory, however, is inward. It's about aligning your actions with your values, finding strength in your integrity, and creating outcomes that benefit not just yourself but others as well. Redefining victory begins with a shift in mindset. It's about asking yourself, what am I really trying to achieve? If your goal is merely to prove someone else wrong or to exact revenge, you might succeed momentarily, but the emotional toll can be draining. You might win the argument, but lose your peace of mind. On the other hand, if your goal is to grow, to learn, and to foster understanding, then you are no longer constrained by the need to fight. You have already started to win, because you've risen above the pettiness of the conflict. Imagine a heated argument. In the heat of the moment, it feels like a battle that must be won at all costs. But if you pause and ask yourself, what will winning this argument actually accomplish? The answer often reveals a deeper truth. Winning the argument might provide temporary satisfaction, but it could damage relationships or create unnecessary stress. Choosing to listen, to empathize, and to seek common ground might not look like winning in the traditional sense, but it leads to a far greater victory, one where respect and connection are preserved. Victory also lies in letting go. This doesn't mean surrender or avoidance, it means releasing the need to control every outcome. Sometimes the greatest triumph is walking away from a toxic situation, refusing to engage in a battle that drains your energy and spirit. By doing so, you reclaim your power, showing that your peace is not for sale. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, it's an act of profound strength, rooted in the understanding that your worth isn't tied to someone else's perception or validation. Victory is about transformation. It's about taking every challenge, every conflict, and every perceived defeat and using them as fuel for growth. When you redefine victory as a path to self-mastery, you unlock a power far greater than any external conquest, the power to live with purpose, clarity, and peace. Understanding is the cornerstone of resolving conflict and transforming opposition into opportunity. It is the ability to see beyond actions and words to the deeper motivations, fears, and struggles of others. When faced with a challenge or a perceived enemy, our first instinct is often to react defensively or assertively. However, when we choose to pause and seek understanding, we open the door to resolutions that transcend confrontation. True understanding has the power to dismantle hostility, create empathy, and foster growth for all involved. At its core, seeking understanding requires humility. It means accepting that our perspective is just one piece of a larger puzzle. Often we view situations through the lens of our own experiences and assumptions, which can cloud our judgment and create unnecessary divisions. When someone opposes us, it's easy to label them as wrong, bad, or unreasonable, but rarely is conflict that simple. By seeking to understand, we challenge ourselves to look deeper, to consider what might be driving their behavior. Are they acting out of fear, insecurity, or a past wound? What do they truly need or value? These questions shift the focus from judgment to curiosity, creating a foundation for meaningful dialogue. Understanding also requires listening, not just hearing, but truly listening with the intent to comprehend rather than to respond. Too often we listen defensively, waiting for an opportunity to counter-argue or assert our own point of view. But when we listen to understand, we engage with openness and patience. We set aside our biases and pay attention to not only the words, but also the emotions behind them. This kind of listening signals respect, even in the midst of disagreement, and respect is often the first step toward dissolving animosity. Empathy is another vital component of understanding. It's the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to imagine what it feels like to be them. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with someone or condoning their actions, it means acknowledging their humanity. When you empathize, you recognize that everyone is carrying their own burdens and fighting their own battles. This recognition softens the edges of conflict. It becomes harder to see someone as an enemy when you understand the pain or fear that might be driving their actions. One of the most transformative aspects of seeking understanding is that it shifts the dynamics of power. In a conflict, when you take the time to understand your opponent, you gain insight into their motivations, strengths, and vulnerabilities. This insight gives you the ability to respond strategically rather than react impulsively. It allows you to address the root of the issue rather than just its symptoms. In doing so, you often disarm hostility without ever engaging in a fight. Understanding doesn't just benefit relationships, it also fosters personal growth. Each time you seek to understand someone else, you expand your own perspective. You learn to see the world in new ways, to appreciate the complexity of human behavior, and to navigate challenges with greater wisdom. This growth makes you stronger, more adaptable, and more compassionate, qualities that serve you not just in moments of conflict, but in every aspect of life. One powerful example of understanding comes from historical figures like Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela, who demonstrated the ability to empathize with their opponents, even in the face of immense injustice. Gandhi's approach of nonviolent resistance was rooted in understanding the shared humanity of both the oppressed and the oppressors. Similarly, Mandela, after spending 27 years in prison, emerged with a vision for reconciliation rather than revenge. These leaders understood that true resolution comes not from defeating others, but from bridging divides. Seeking understanding does not mean you allow yourself to be taken advantage of or that you avoid addressing wrongdoing. It means you approach conflict with a mindset of curiosity rather than hostility. It means you strive to find solutions that honor your values while respecting the humanity of others. It's a process of turning us versus them into we recognizing that we are all interconnected and that cooperation often yields better results than confrontation. In practice, seeking understanding might look like asking thoughtful questions, being patient with someone's frustration, or stepping back to reflect on your own assumptions. It might involve difficult conversations where you acknowledge your role in the conflict or make an effort to see things from the other person's perspective. It's not always easy, and it doesn't guarantee immediate results, but it creates the potential for genuine connection and lasting resolution. Seeking understanding transforms conflict into an opportunity for growth, not just for yourself, but for everyone involved. It replaces hostility with empathy, fear with curiosity, and division with connection. When you choose to seek understanding, you don't just resolve conflicts, you elevate them. You create a space where everyone can learn, grow, and move forward with greater clarity and compassion. And in doing so, you not only overcome opposition, but also contribute to a more harmonious world. Focusing on personal growth is one of the most effective ways to overcome challenges and rise above conflicts. It shifts your energy away from external battles and redirects it inward, where the most profound changes can occur. When you prioritize becoming the best version of yourself, you transcend the limitations imposed by opposition and move toward a life defined by purpose, strength, and resilience. Personal growth begins with self-awareness. To grow, you must first understand yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, values, and triggers. Conflict, while often uncomfortable, provides a unique mirror that reflects areas where growth is needed. Instead of seeing opposition as purely negative, view it as an opportunity to learn about yourself. What does this challenge reveal about your emotions, your reactions, or your beliefs? This self-awareness is the foundation for meaningful change, as you cannot grow into who you want to be until you understand who you are. Another key aspect of personal growth is the cultivation of resilience. Life will always present obstacles, and how you respond to them defines your character. Resilience is not about avoiding failure or pain, but about learning from these experiences and using them as stepping stones to greater strength. When faced with opposition, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Whether it's patience, empathy, or problem solving, every challenge holds a lesson. By focusing on personal growth, you turn difficulties into opportunities for development, ensuring that no experience is wasted. Growth also involves developing emotional intelligence. This includes understanding and managing your emotions and recognizing the emotions of others. When you are emotionally intelligent, you are less likely to react impulsively to provocation. Instead, you respond thoughtfully, maintaining control over your actions and words. This not only helps you navigate conflicts more effectively, but also builds your confidence and self-respect. Emotional intelligence allows you to handle opposition with grace and composure, making you stronger and more self-assured. Focusing on personal growth means embracing a mindset of continuous improvement. It's about striving to be better today than you were yesterday in small, consistent ways. This could involve learning new skills, adopting healthier habits, or pursuing deeper understanding in your relationships. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of deliberate choices made day after day. By committing to this process, you gradually outgrow the limitations that once held you back, including those imposed by external conflicts. One of the most liberating aspects of focusing on personal growth is the realization that you are in control of your journey. While you cannot control what others do or say, you can control how you respond, how you grow, and how you use those experiences to shape your future. This empowerment removes the need to fight external battles for validation or dominance. Instead, you channel your energy into building a life that reflects your values and aspirations. A growth-focused mindset also reduces the power of negativity from others. When you are secure in your own progress and self-worth, the actions and opinions of others lose their ability to harm you. You no longer feel the need to retaliate against opposition, because you've built an inner strength that cannot be shaken by external forces. This kind of growth is not just about self-improvement, it's about self-mastery. The ability to remain steady and focused no matter the circumstances. An essential part of personal growth is learning to let go of what no longer serves you. This could be grudges, limiting beliefs, or toxic relationships. Holding on to these things weighs you down and prevents you from moving forward. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or condoning, it means freeing yourself from their hold over you. It's an act of self-respect and an acknowledgement that your energy is better spent on growth than on dwelling in the past. Personal growth is about creating a vision for your life and taking steps to achieve it. When you have a clear sense of purpose, opposition becomes less significant. You realize that your energy is better spent pursuing your goals than engaging in unnecessary conflict. A growth-oriented individual sees challenges not as roadblocks, but as detours that can still lead to their destination. This focus on the bigger picture allows you to rise above petty disagreements and remain committed to your path. In focusing on personal growth, you transform yourself from someone who reacts to external circumstances into someone who shapes their own reality. You become stronger, wiser, and more resilient, not because you've defeated others, but because you've conquered the doubts and fears within yourself. This internal victory is the most powerful kind of triumph, one that not only benefits you but also inspires those around you. When you grow, you elevate not just your own life, but the lives of everyone you touch. Leading by example is one of the most powerful ways to influence others and create meaningful change. It's a principle rooted in action rather than words, demonstrating your values through your behavior. When you lead by example, you inspire others not by telling them what to do, but by showing them how it's done. This approach is especially impactful in moments of conflict or adversity, as it creates a model for others to emulate, often disarming hostility without the need for confrontation. To lead by example, you must first embody the qualities you wish to see in others. Whether it's kindness, resilience, honesty, or humility, your actions must align with your values. People are far more likely to respect and follow someone who practices what they preach. Hypocrisy undermines trust and credibility, while consistent behavior rooted in integrity builds both. When you live your values authentically, you become a source of inspiration and a benchmark for others. In conflict, leading by example can transform the dynamic. When faced with hostility, responding with calmness and grace sends a powerful message. It shows strength, not weakness, to remain composed when others expect anger or retaliation. By choosing a higher path, you set a tone that encourages mutual respect and opens the door to resolution. Even those who oppose you may begin to mirror your demeanor, realizing that aggression is neither necessary nor productive. One of the most important aspects of leading by example is accountability. Leaders who take responsibility for their actions, admit mistakes, and work to correct them earn genuine respect. Accountability doesn't mean being perfect, it means being honest and willing to grow. When you own your actions, you give others permission to do the same, fostering an environment of trust and mutual growth. This is especially critical in leadership roles, where your behavior directly impacts those who look up to you. Empathy is another cornerstone of leading by example. When you show understanding and compassion, even in challenging situations, you encourage others to adopt a similar mindset. Empathy does not mean compromising your values or ignoring wrongdoing. It means acknowledging the humanity of others. This approach can de-escalate tension and create opportunities for meaningful dialogue. By demonstrating empathy, you model a way of handling conflict that prioritizes connection over division. Consistency is key to leading by example. Your behavior must reflect your principles in both good times and bad. It's easy to act with integrity when everything is going well, but true leadership is tested in adversity. In difficult moments, your actions speak louder than ever. If you remain steadfast, ethical, and composed, you show others that it's possible to uphold values even under pressure. This consistency reinforces your credibility and inspires confidence in those around you. Another powerful aspect of leading by example is empowering others. A true leader doesn't just focus on their own growth, but also on uplifting those around them. When you lead by example, you encourage others to step into their own strength, guiding them not with commands, but with inspiration. By demonstrating resilience, determination, and a commitment to improvement, you show others that they too can overcome challenges and achieve their potential. Leading by example also involves setting boundaries and standing firm in your convictions. This doesn't mean being inflexible, but rather showing that you respect yourself and your principles enough to uphold them. When you establish clear boundaries and enforce them respectfully, you teach others to respect you and to value their own limits. This kind of leadership creates a culture of mutual respect and empowerment. One of the greatest effects of leading by example is that it often inspires change without the need for force or persuasion. People are naturally drawn to those who embody the qualities they admire. When they see someone living with integrity, grace, and strength, they are more likely to reflect on their own actions and consider making positive changes. Your example becomes a silent but powerful force for transformation, rippling outward to influence others in ways you may never fully see. Leading by example is about being the change you wish to see. It's about taking the high road, even when it's difficult, and showing others that it's possible to navigate life's challenges with dignity and courage. It's not about perfection, but about progress, authenticity, and a commitment to growth. When you lead by example, you don't just overcome challenges, you create a legacy of inspiration, one that empowers others to rise to their best selves as well. This is leadership at its most profound, transforming the world not through words or force, but through the quiet, undeniable power of your actions. Disarming with peace is a powerful approach to handling conflict, opposition, or hostility. It's the art of resolving tension not through force, argument, or domination, but by creating an atmosphere where conflict loses its grip. Choosing peace doesn't mean avoiding difficult situations or surrendering your values. Instead, it is about addressing challenges in a way that fosters understanding, builds trust, and paves the way for meaningful resolution. This approach can transform adversaries into allies and turn contentious situations into opportunities for connection. At the heart of disarming with peace is the principle of nonviolence, not just in action, but also in thought and intention. It requires a commitment to approach others with respect, even when faced with hostility. When you choose not to meet aggression with aggression, you break the cycle of escalation. You send a clear message you value resolution over dominance and are willing to work toward a solution that benefits all parties. One of the first steps to disarming with peace is maintaining composure. Conflict often provokes strong emotional reactions, such as anger or defensiveness, but reacting impulsively can intensify the situation. Remaining calm demonstrates strength and self-control. It creates a sense of stability that can diffuse tension and encourage others to lower their defenses. This calmness is not passive, it's an active choice to lead with intention rather than being driven by emotion. Another key aspect of disarming with peace is empathy. When you take the time to understand the perspective and emotions of the other person, you humanize them, reducing the perceived threat. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with someone or condoning harmful behavior. It means recognizing their humanity and acknowledging that they too have fears, needs, and struggles. This acknowledgement can shift the dynamic from confrontation to collaboration, as it shows that you are willing to listen and engage constructively. Using respectful communication is another critical component. Words have the power to either inflame or soothe a situation. Choosing language that is kind, clear, and free from blame can prevent misunderstandings and reduce defensiveness. Even in disagreement, expressing yourself with respect sets a tone of civility and encourages the same in return. Statements like, "I see where you're coming from," or "let's find a solution that works for both of us," signal your willingness to work together rather than against each other. Disarming with peace also involves a willingness to compromise without abandoning your principles. Resolving conflict doesn't always mean one person wins and the other loses. Often the best solutions come from finding common ground where both parties feel heard and valued. Compromise requires flexibility and creativity, as well as the humility to acknowledge that no single perspective holds all the answers. Sometimes disarming with peace means walking away. This is not about avoiding the issue, but recognizing when a situation has become too volatile for constructive dialogue. Stepping back allows emotions to cool and gives everyone involved the opportunity to reflect. Returning to the conversation later with a calmer mindset often leads to better outcomes. Walking away with dignity rather than engaging in heated confrontation preserves your peace and prevents further escalation. A powerful example of disarming with peace is the ability to use unexpected kindness in the face of hostility. Acts of goodwill can disarm even the most antagonistic opponents. Whether it's a small gesture, a kind word, or a willingness to forgive, these actions demonstrate a level of humanity that is difficult to oppose. Kindness can dissolve barriers of anger and mistrust, opening the door to genuine connection and reconciliation. Peaceful disarmament also involves inner work. It requires cultivating patience, humility, and the ability to let go of ego. Often our instinct to fight stems from a need to prove ourselves or defend our pride. When you release the need to win and instead focus on fostering harmony, you free yourself from this cycle. Inner peace becomes your greatest strength, making it difficult for external conflicts to destabilize you. Disarming with peace doesn't guarantee that others will immediately respond in kind. Some may continue to act aggressively or resist your attempts at resolution. However, by remaining steadfast in your commitment to peace, you set a powerful example. Over time, your consistent actions can influence others, creating an environment where hostility has no place to thrive. Disarming with peace is about transforming conflict into an opportunity for growth and understanding. It's about recognizing that true strength lies not in overpowering others, but in choosing a path of compassion and resolution. When you disarm with peace, you don't just neutralize conflict, you inspire change. You show others that there is a better way, one rooted in mutual respect, empathy, and a shared desire for harmony. This approach not only resolves individual disputes, but also contributes to a more peaceful and connected world. Practicing gratitude is a transformative act that reshapes how you experience life, especially in moments of difficulty or conflict. Gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling of thankfulness. It is a deliberate focus on the positive aspects of your life and the people who contribute to it. When you practice gratitude, you cultivate a mindset that fosters resilience, strengthens relationships, and shifts your energy from what is lacking to what is abundant. In doing so, you empower yourself to approach challenges with a sense of peace and possibility. Gratitude begins with awareness. In the hustle of daily life, it's easy to focus on problems and overlook the good that surrounds you. Practicing gratitude means consciously pausing to notice and appreciate the gifts, big and small, in your life. This could be the support of loved ones, the beauty of nature, or even the lessons learned from adversity. By directing your attention to these positives, you change your focus from scarcity to abundance, creating a sense of fulfillment and contentment. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to shift perspective. In moments of conflict or stress, it's natural to fixate on what's wrong. Gratitude, however, helps you reframe the situation by highlighting what's right. For example, even in a disagreement, you can be thankful for the opportunity to communicate and grow. In challenges, you can appreciate the chance to develop strength and resilience. This shift doesn't ignore the difficulty, but balances it with an awareness of the good, allowing you to navigate hardships with greater clarity and grace. Gratitude also deepens connections with others. When you express appreciation for someone, it strengthens your bond and fosters mutual respect. People are drawn to those who recognize and value their contributions. In conflicts, practicing gratitude can be a disarming act. Acknowledging the positive aspects of a person, even when you disagree, humanizes the interaction and opens the door to understanding. For instance, saying, "I value your perspective even though we see this differently," can create a more constructive and respectful dialogue. Practicing gratitude is not limited to external expressions. It also involves cultivating an internal attitude of thankfulness. This means recognizing your own growth, efforts, and achievements. Gratitude for yourself fosters self-compassion and reduces the tendency to be overly critical. It reminds you that despite challenges, you are capable and worthy. This internal gratitude builds confidence and resilience, equipping you to face difficulties with a grounded sense of self-worth. Gratitude can also be a powerful tool for resolving inner conflict. Often we carry resentment, regret, or frustration that weighs us down. Practicing gratitude helps release these burdens by shifting the focus to what you've gained or learned. For instance, instead of dwelling on a missed opportunity, you can be thankful for the experiences that prepared you for what's next. This perspective doesn't negate pain, but allows you to move forward with a lighter heart. Incorporating gratitude into daily life is simple but impactful. One effective practice is keeping a gratitude journal, where you list things you're thankful for each day. This habit trains your mind to seek out positives even in difficult circumstances. Another practice is starting or ending conversations with words of appreciation, whether it's thanking someone for their time, support, or simply their presence. These small acts of gratitude ripple outward, creating a more positive environment for everyone involved. Gratitude also has profound effects on well-being. Studies show that practicing gratitude improves mental health, reduces stress, and enhances overall happiness. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you cultivate a sense of sufficiency and joy. This mental shift not only benefits you but also influences those around you, as gratitude is contagious. When you radiate thankfulness, it inspires others to adopt the same mindset, creating a cycle of positivity. In conflicts or challenges, gratitude can act as an anchor. When emotions run high, taking a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for grounds you in the present and tempers reactive impulses. It allows you to approach situations from a place of balance rather than frustration or fear. For example, in a heated discussion, pausing to acknowledge your gratitude for the relationship can shift the tone and guide the conversation toward resolution. Practicing gratitude is about recognizing the abundance already present in your life and allowing that awareness to guide your actions. It's a mindset that transforms obstacles into opportunities, enemies into teachers, and moments of struggle into stepping stones for growth. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but embracing the good within and around them. When you practice gratitude, you cultivate a life of resilience, connection, and joy, inspiring others to do the same. This simple yet profound habit not only enriches your own life, but also creates a ripple effect of positivity that touches everyone you encounter. Knowing when to walk away is a profound act of strength and wisdom. It's not a sign of defeat, but rather an assertion of your priorities, boundaries, and values. Walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means recognizing that some situations, relationships, or conflicts no longer serve your growth or well-being. It's a choice to preserve your peace, maintain your dignity, and focus your energy where it can make a meaningful difference. Walking away requires clarity. It begins with understanding the situation fully and evaluating its impact on your life. Ask yourself, does this align with my values? Is this helping me grow, or is it draining my energy? Am I holding on to something out of fear, pride, or obligation? These questions provide the insight needed to make a deliberate and thoughtful decision. Clarity ensures that walking away is not an impulsive act, but a choice rooted in self-awareness and purpose. Boundaries are at the core of walking away. Healthy boundaries define what you will and will not tolerate, protecting your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. When those boundaries are repeatedly crossed, despite your efforts to communicate and address the issue, walking away becomes an act of self-respect. It sends a clear message you value yourself enough to remove yourself from situations that harm or diminish you. Walking away also demonstrates emotional maturity. It shows that you can step back from conflict without resorting to aggression or blame. It's a refusal to engage in negativity or perpetuate cycles of hostility. By choosing to disengage, you take control of your narrative and redirect your energy toward more productive endeavors. This maturity often disarms others, as it reflects a calm confidence that doesn't rely on external validation or control. Timing is crucial when deciding to walk away. In some cases, it's about recognizing when efforts to resolve an issue have been exhausted. If dialogue, compromise, and understanding have failed, staying in the situation often leads to frustration or harm. Knowing when to step away is an act of grace, allowing you to exit with integrity and on your terms. It ensures that you leave with a sense of closure rather than lingering resentment. Walking away is not always easy. It may require letting go of something familiar or confronting the fear of the unknown. However, it's important to remember that staying in a harmful or stagnant situation often costs more in the long run: your peace, energy, and potential for growth. Walking away opens the door to new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with who you are and where you want to go. At times, walking away can inspire change in others. When you remove yourself from a situation that no longer serves you, it forces those involved to reflect on their actions and the consequences of their behavior. Your decision to walk away can set a boundary that encourages growth, respect, or accountability in others. Even if change doesn't occur, your choice demonstrates the importance of valuing yourself, which can inspire others to do the same. Walking away also fosters inner peace. By choosing not to engage in unnecessary conflict, you free yourself from the stress and negativity it creates. This doesn't mean avoiding problems, but recognizing when further engagement would be unproductive or damaging. Walking away allows you to preserve your energy and focus on areas of your life that bring fulfillment and joy. Walking away is an act of courage. It requires trusting yourself and believing that you are capable of thriving beyond the current situation. It's an affirmation of your worth and a declaration that you will not settle for less than what you deserve. This courage strengthens your resilience and empowers you to make choices that support your long-term happiness and well-being. Walking away when necessary is a powerful tool for personal growth and empowerment. It's not about abandoning challenges, but about choosing where to invest your time and energy wisely. It's a way of honoring yourself, protecting your peace, and creating space for opportunities that truly align with your values and aspirations. By walking away, you take control of your journey and move forward with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Conquering the inner battle is one of the most transformative journeys you can undertake. This battle is not with the external world, but within yourself, the struggle between fear and courage, doubt and belief, chaos and clarity. Victory in this arena isn't marked by outward trophies, but by a sense of inner peace, self-mastery, and purpose. It's about aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your deepest values, allowing you to navigate life with confidence and resilience. The inner battle begins with self-awareness. To conquer it, you must recognize the patterns, fears, and doubts that hold you back. Often, we are our own harshest critics, plagued by self-limiting beliefs that whisper, "You're not enough," or "You can't do it." Winning the inner battle means challenging these voices, questioning their truth, and replacing them with empowering narratives. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily practice of choosing belief over doubt and possibility over limitation. Discipline is your greatest ally in this fight. The inner battle often tempts you to take the easy path, to procrastinate, or to settle for less. But discipline keeps you moving forward, even when motivation wanes. It's the commitment to your goals, the refusal to give up, and the ability to persevere in the face of challenges. Each small victory, waking up early, finishing that project, or taking one more step, strengthens your resolve and builds momentum for greater triumphs. Equally important is the practice of self-compassion. Too often, we equate inner battles with harshness or relentless pressure. True victory, however, comes from treating yourself with kindness. Acknowledge your efforts, forgive your mistakes, and celebrate your progress. Self-compassion creates a foundation of trust and self-respect, making you more resilient in the face of setbacks. It reminds you that your worth is not tied to perfection, but to your persistence and authenticity. Mindset is the battlefield where most inner battles are won or lost. Choosing a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and outcomes can be developed through effort, transforms challenges into opportunities. When you see obstacles as lessons, failures as feedback, and pain as a teacher, the inner battle becomes less about struggle and more about evolution. Each moment of adversity becomes a stepping stone toward your highest potential. Faith, whether in yourself, a higher purpose, or the journey itself, is another critical weapon. The inner battle often tests your belief in unseen possibilities, asking you to trust in the process even when results are not immediate. Cultivate faith through reflection, gratitude, and connection to your inner values. Trust that every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you envision. Finally, remember that the inner battle is not fought alone. Seek support when needed, whether from mentors, friends, or communities who inspire and uplift you. Surround yourself with those who believe in you and challenge you to grow. Sharing your journey doesn't diminish your strength, it amplifies it by reminding you that you're part of a greater network of resilience and hope. As you reflect on the journey of conquering your inner battle, let it be a reminder of your power. The greatest wars are not fought with weapons or words, but with courage, patience, and self-belief. Each step you take toward inner peace radiates outward, influencing how you approach the world and inspiring others to face their own battles. And so as we part, let this be your call to action. Embrace your inner struggles with courage, meet your fears with faith, and rise to your fullest potential. The inner battle is not a curse, but a gift, offering you the chance to discover your strength and create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Go forward with resolve. And remember, the true victory lies not in the absence of struggle, but in the relentless pursuit of becoming your best self. May you conquer your battles with grace, and may peace always be your guiding light.